Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk. If you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the Pokemon Direct, and let me just say right out of the gate, I know a lot of us were really hyped for this. We were really excited for like the news and all kinds of stuff, and I'm a little disappointed. This feels very, very weak. Now, in fairness, they're probably holding on to a lot for next year's 30th anniversary event. So you have a whole other year to wait for like the true insane hype. But we had high expectations, and I dare say we kind of fall on our face on this one a little bit. It's not world ending by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a little lackluster compared to what we had really honestly expected. I mean, it's been 2 years since we had a new game, and now we're going to wait a full 3 years to have a new game, it seems. We'll get to that here in a moment. But let's talk about Pokemon Go to kind of kick this off. I recently just started Pokemon Go, so I was really hoping to have like another opportunity to grab Shiny Meltan or something really exciting. And we have Victini from a deluxe pack, which isn't insanely expensive. I do play some very expensive mobile games, but this is not, a world-ending situation, but it is not a shiny Victini. Shiny Victini is still, like, very hard to obtain. You can now get Shiny Meloetta, which we just got her shiny unlocked for the very first time in Pokemon Home. If you complete the Scarlet and Violet dexes, all of them, up through all the DLC, you can get one, and now you can obtain one here as well. I think that does. I mean, she's locked behind a paywall, so not everyone's going to be able to acquire her. And you have to complete like an insane number of things. If she's anything like, I haven't looked at what she requires yet, but if she's anything like Shiny Mew, it is just going to be mind-boggling how much stuff you've got to do. But I think that kind of takes the rarity away from her. But Pokemon Go has a habit of doing that. Shinies. Pokemon Go has made shinies way more obtainable than ever, it seems. So, and Scarlet and Violet to a lesser extent as well. But they still don't have like all the shiny legendaries and things like that. Though Sword and Shield is definitely kind of working on that too. Nevertheless, it's a little bit of a letdown. I was really hoping we get some another opportunity to shiny Meltan. I was really hoping we'd get some more crazy stuff, but instead it's all the stuff that we knew was coming. By the way, there is a code for this, and I don't have it at my disposal right now. If I'm able to obtain it here, we'll kind of include it in a minute, but I think we'll just include that in kind of its own right coming up. Ooh, actually, I think I have it right here. So here's the code right here, actually. It's WJ5D FWASCL65W. That is a crazy amount of thing. Gives you 50-volt fusion energy and a couple other things for the Unova Tour. So go partake in that if that is your thing. I said I'm not gotten deep enough really in there to kind of get any value of this out of myself, but we'll probably cover this in a short coming up here shortly. No pun intended on that. So that's Pokemon Go. Little next bit of news we're going to talk about. Of course, we got to talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, we are getting a new booster pack literally tomorrow. Triumph Light. We literally just got some booster packs recently. I only just found out you can still access the old booster packs, which is actually kind of hilariously relevant because apparently we're going to be getting gifts in those old booster packs as well, where you'll get like a 3 diamond or 4, I think it's 4 diamond or higher rating on a guaranteed pack coming up shortly. So new booster pack coming. Looks like this is Arceus based. It looks like it'll kind of be like the Mew pack where it's the one pack. It's just a handful of cards. I've been doing this on the daily. I haven't completed anything in this really. I have had, no, I won't say atrocious luck. Just haven't had the greatest luck with it. But it is what it is, and it's just a fun. I like this as a mobile game because it doesn't require you to do a huge amount. It doesn't require like a lot of money out of you or anything like that. It's just a fun way for me to like pop packs and get that serotonin rush. Just very fun. If you haven't been playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, I would highly recommend it. I like it a lot. It's just very fun and kind of just a relaxing, chill moment. Now, this right here was really hype. We are getting Mega Evolutions in Pokemon TCG Pocket, which is awesome. They showed up Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir, and it seems like there's going to be a bunch more Megas coming. So there's a lot to discover there in regards to Pokemon TCG Pocket if you haven't started already. So that's really exciting. It says Mega Evolution is coming in 2025. doesn't really tell us a whole lot. The current pack is dropping, and they do seem to drop new packs all of the time. So, check back. We'll have more information on that when it comes. And I always cover those in shorts. I say we do it daily. I tend to upload shamefully more on TikTok than I do over here. But it's the thing, guys. But nevertheless, just a fun little way to just have a little bit more Pokemon in our life. And I tend to do it with my kids, and I really love and enjoy it. So, Mega Evolution's coming. That's exciting. Not groundbreaking, but exciting. Now, a little bit of a rant alert. This is slightly disappointing. Not surprising, but slightly disappointing. We are getting new Terra Raid events for Scarlet and Violet, and they are all the starters. Now, this is a bit redundant because if you've got Pokemon Home, and I don't know why you wouldn't have Pokemon Home because it's a free app, you just download it. But for whatever reason, for people that I don't know, because you still got to get online to update this. I don't know what the thought process is. The only exception to that is you can get 6 IVs out of this, so you could really breed a really awesome, really competitive 6 IV Mon out of this. So it does give you a lot of breeding options if you want to breed the starters, because these starters are really, really solid. I already have a shiny Meowscarada. I don't have the other two because I never really bothered breeding them, but I definitely will now. So, starting this week, basically tonight, honestly, it says February 28th, 0 UTC. Mighty Meowscarada will be dropping. We'll talk about all that, ways that you can basically farm this. It'll be going until March the 6th, and then we'll be getting Skeldridge, and then followed by, I always butcher his name, but anyway. Quaxly's evolution, because I butchered the heck out of his name, and I'm not going to do it today. So they're dropping, and they're going to be basically running for a week each. We'll talk about how you can solo these raids and win them. I think most of these are going to be pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, Meowscarada is going to have a Grass Terra. Skeldridge is going to have a Fire Terra, and this one's going to have a Water Terra. So, pure Grass, pure Fire, pure Water. You probably already know what you're going to do for this. It's not going to be a huge undertaking, but since they are going to have the Mightiest Mark, these will probably be 7-star raids from the looks of it. I don't think it's actually mentioned here, but I'm pretty sure these are 7-star raids. So we'll talk about these more tonight when they drop, and ways you can solo these, and it'll be a lot of fun. But if I'm honest, it's not groundbreaking. The part that really disappointed me above all else is they announced the next few, and they're all... Well, they're not all dragons, but all but one is a dragon. But they're basically all pseudos, which... I've said it, and I've said it, and I've said it, and I've said it. And I'm like, I get excited for it every time. It's about time we get more legendary raids. So maybe with the pseudos dropping... that's a hint that maybe more legendary raids are in the works. Now, all these being dragons, most of these are going to be pretty easy to farm. We'll be able to use basically the same mon in all of them. And we've got builds for Dragon Terras already. But actually, I take it back because Tyranitar there has a Ghost Terra. So I'll have to see what each Terra is actually acquired there. So I guess they're not just going to do Dragon Terras for all of them, which makes sense in the long run of things. Now, they're all going to be probably 6 IV, most of these Mightiest Raids. In fact, all the Mightiest Raids tend to be. So I'm going to basically say that if you ever wanted to have a really competitive build and an easy one to breed, get yourself a Masuda Ditto, which, then you can obviously get better odds of getting a shiny, and then you can breed out a 6 IV with your perfect stats and all that. These are going to be really fun to breed and to work on. Most of these I personally already have shiny, but in fact, all of them I have shiny. Come to think about it, all of them I have shiny. But nevertheless, that is a thing. Not super excited about that, but I'm ready for those legendary raids. I'm ready for the shiny legendaries. I'm ready to get there. We've been waiting over 2 years, and it feels like they're dragging it out at this point. So just a little personal discontent. Also, you can get a new Rotom case. This isn't super important, but we'll cover this when we do the update of the codes video. I'll update that codes video probably Saturday or Sunday this week. You guys seem to like those, and it's only going to be, each one's only going to be obtainable in that version of the game. So since I have both versions of the game, we'll be obtaining it and talking about it, but not super groundbreaking. And we've lost most of our codes at this point. Most of the codes have subsided. So unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about there. If you didn't get your EV code, make sure you guys go get those. Some places were holding those until today. So, go to your Best Buy, go to your GameStop. Good luck. I was able to get a few of them for myself and for some family members. Got very, very lucky in that regard. Some places have been weird about them. But apparently those codes will be good until May, so we'll keep that in the codes video until May, and we'll talk about it. But nevertheless, guys, new codes, exciting-ish. Now we're getting into the truly fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to turn the audio down on this a lot because I don't want to get dinged on this one. But let's check this out because this one's really exciting. Probably the most exciting news of the day, if I am completely honest with you guys. I'm going to turn the audio down a little bit more. If you want to watch this, I'll put a link down below where you can kind of check it out. But this is mega exciting. So what they're showing there is they're showing Game Boy Pocket, N64. Like, these are all the old games. Got GBA. Love me some GBA. Also, the 4-player attachment for GBA, which was, I don't know if we ever even had that. Of course, the 3DS, 2DS. Then we've got the Switch here. Like, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. But what's really amazing here is, check this out. This is obviously, all right, mobile game. Because there's one thing we know Pokemon in general is really good at, is that being mobile. Just about the vast majority of the games have been on a mobile platform, including the Switch, which is predominantly mobile. I know it's got a console mode, but yeah. So it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, it looks like it's a cross-platform, i.e. you can play on mobile and Switch. Now, how will that work? How will the gameplay play out? How will it be able to handle like the networks and things like that? Hard to tell. Mega evolutions, terrestrialization. They didn't show any Gigantamaxing here. I wouldn't be surprised if those two are involved, if you could Gigantamax at some point. Pokemon Champions. So here's the deal, guys. And actually, there's a scene here at the end I want to talk about. It says it's in development. We don't know when this is coming, but iOS, Android, and Switch. Now, here's the big caveat. Let's get to this screen here. There is something kind of important here we need to discuss. All right, this right here. Oop, let's go back there. So, you can interface Champions with other platforms, i.e., you could send Pokemon from Pokemon Go to home, Scarlet and Violet to home. It says, and other titles. Pokemon Champions looks like it's going to include just about everything. And it's basically a new version of, like, Coliseum. Like, people that play Showdown right now are really excited about this because this is what we've wanted. It's a big, like, PvP, all-encompassing, or at least seems to be mostly encompassing, Pokemon Showdown. So, like, terrestrialized, like, they showed the terrestrialized Mon versus Mega. Like, that just, to me, is just one of the most exciting things. The fact that they're going to have this huge PvP arena. Now, here's the one caveat, and it's down here in the fine print. It says, Pokemon you have originally obtained in Pokemon Champions cannot be deposited in home. What Pokemon will you be able to obtain in Champions, and how? So there's going to be some kind of a gameplay, at least single player, or some kind of rewards or something like that. But the fact that they can't be transferred back to home is a bit disappointing. I'm hoping they fix that eventually. I'm hoping that is rectified so that we can actually get some kind of, like, maybe like make it so that when they go back to home, kind of like if you've played the Let's Go games, where you transfer them to home, they can't be if you like put them in any other game, they can't go back to the Let's Go game. Which I think is weird, but they could do that with Champions. But this is awesome. The ability to take all of those Pokemon. If you're like me and you're building a living dex in home, you'll finally be able to use that living dex competitively, which is awesome. A lot of people have been winning this. This is something I've seen people talk about all the time. Hands down, one of the biggest news items of the day. Really, really excited about what this means for Pokemon just in general. So, let me know what you guys think. Sorry I had to turn the audio down there a lot. Obviously I've got to pay attention to the, well, you know how that works. And finally, we've got to talk Legends EA. So let's talk Legends EA. This is the big one, guys. This is the big one. Pokemon Legends EA, and I will spoil it for you right now. They do not give us a release date on this. And what they said as far as the release date goes, which we'll talk about here at the end, does not seem hugely promising. That's just, I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. These look really exciting. So my biggest question for this whole time was how are they going to incorporate... By the way, there's our starters. Let's pause that for a second. Let's go back and talk about our starters here. There we go. So, Tepig, Chikorita, and Totodile. And this will be the first time in a long time I've knocked on with a fire starter. Not that I have anything against Pigonite, but Totodile is like just an absolute gem. I like for Alligator, but I like my starters to be a thoughtless... just look at that face. Look at that face. Not a thought one. Not a thought one. So very awesome. Now, will they have their own regional forms? That's a huge question. We gotta watch this a little bit further. I don't think they spoil it. I love the fact you can have tea with your starter. So it looks like these battles just kind of happen out here, just in the city. You know, they're like in a park area, and I love this. You can go up to the roof and wander around on the roof. I mean, so many possibilities. So many possibilities. There's your rival, by the way. So I'm sincerely hoping that there are regional forms. And what's really cool, so let's go back and watch that for a moment. Notice how they kind of like loop out of the way. Let's take a look at that, because that bears an analyzation, I almost said. Let's go back over here. Where was it? Yeah. So notice. Come on. Do it again. So he does Flame Wheel, and notice you're able to just kind of like run out of the way. So if you go back to like Legends Arceus, remember like a lot of times that Pokemon could target you and harm you. So it looks like if you're in the way of the blast, you could actually get hurt, which I like. I think that's really cool. But notice that Totodile also kind of followed her around and was able to get out of the way of the damage. So it looks like this is something that's it's a whole new battle system. It's just a completely new battle system. Something we've never seen before in Pokemon, where now you'll be able to basically dodge, kind of like they do in the anime. Dodge, parry, let off attacks. It doesn't look like it's turn-based. Like maybe you can queue up. I get it's a cinematic. That's the thing you gotta take away from this. It is a cinematic. This is definitely not gameplay footage. So it is what it is. And there we go. Mega Evolutions are back, guys. There's Mega Lucario. Mega Absol. Oh, man, we got to go talk about this. So I didn't see any new Megas here, but I don't think they would reveal the new Megas yet. The new Megas are something they're going to reveal over time. So we got Mega Lucario. So Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Sableye, Mega Absol. And then, of course, we got Altaria. We got both versions of Charizard. Gardevoir, Gyarados, and Ampharos. All the Megas we kind of have come to know and love. And I love that they have the X and Y versions of Charizard still. I'm sure Mewtwo is going to be there. Also, I want to talk about this dude. So the Eternal Floette is back, and AZ is back with us. And he's basically, as they've described it, the keeper of the inn where you're going to be staying. So... will we get more of his story? That'll be interesting, because remember when we first met him, he was just this huge, hulking, tall man. I mean, not even hulking, just very tall, slender, like disheveled looking dude. And by the way, yes, that was Zygarde you just saw. And there will be. It looks like. Let's go over here a little bit further. Now, why? I'm over analyzing it here, but why the A there in with all the Zygarde cells? So I'm wondering if this has something to do with Zygarde and maybe I don't know. I don't know. Is the A having something to do with the with Arceus? Is there something going on there? Let's go a little bit further down here. So they talk a lot about this, and I don't want to cover all of it, but there's